mean.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Just stick. Can bend my finger.
Okay. Can?
Yeah, so this is very normal part of work. Okay. Hi, my name is Tsuri and I'm a vinyl installer at Voss. What I do is basically wrap a car in vinyl film to change its color. Otherwise, we retain the car's original paint color using a clear TPU material called a PPF. Sometimes when you're in the zone, your mind goes blank. It's like you're zoned out, but you're using your muscle memory is there. So you are doing what you have to do as perfectly as you can. But your mind is like not really actually thinking about it. I mean, you are concentrating, but it's just that everything just goes silent. You cannot, like somebody will just walk past and call me my name, or I cannot hear at all. So you're just so in the zone that muscle memory takes over. So like there's a little crease here, right? So what I want to do is pull this side out so that the crease will kind of flatten itself. So I remove this. And the heat gun is basically just to like iron it straight, soften the material. So it looks like a panic mess just now, but now it's like so much neater. Everything's flat now. See? So it's all done. There's no more creases at all. When trimming the wrap, you want to make sure not to cut the car, of course. So what we do is actually, if you see there are gaps where the body lines are, the body curves, so we follow that. If it is a really risky area, what we use is called knifeless tape. So that's basically like a string, a line that cuts the wrap for you. Yeah, so that's what knifeless tape is. But for this, I don't see a need for that as yet. If you look at this area, right, and you see one of my very, very early videos, right, I actually messed up. I cut too big a hole and then I had to redo the whole bumper. So that's when I first actually kind of learned that, oh, you should like cut small, and then after that, when you start to feed everything in, right, then if you got more like experience in that sense for that particular model of car, then go ahead, by all means cut whatever you want. So don't worry, I'm not cutting the paint, which a lot of people are very worried about. Yeah. So if I'm comfortable with this and then I'm not sure where it ends, right, I'll just like make a small, and then like I can see what I'm doing at the back. If I'm gonna just like heat and force it down, right, over time it'll just pop back out. So what I'll do is I'll just cut a little bit more here, just to release some of that tension. And then I'll try and see if it sticks better. Yep. There are some instances and some other areas that have like really, really severe angles and bends. So for that, right, what we'll do is to make an inlay. An inlay is just a little small piece of wrap of the same color, and then we will stick it there first. So when we make a cut, it kind of has a nice finish to it. So in that sense, it's like a assurance, a guarantee that it will not pop back out in that very high risk area. Like this one, there's a little gap here. So what we see over there is when the wrap goes over the gap, and then there's actually there's hollow over there. So what I'll do is I'll just put my knife in, and then I'll just slice it up. So there's no cutting of paint at all. Slice it down. See? I'll just pull it up. We opened our first shop at Kaki Bukit. We were lucky enough to hire one worker. So at that point in time, we only had one guy. So one guy doing all the wraps, doing the dismantling, doing the prep and everything. At that point of time, right, I did not know how taxing it was. I kind of pity him to that sense because he's working alone, racking his brains, doing stuff. And I felt like, hey, maybe it's like a cool skill to learn. Why not I go and try it myself, do some hands-on, and maybe I could help him if I can. I went down and I asked him, hey, Ashon, can teach me or not? Then he said, you want to learn? He said, okay, lor, you see how I do, then you try, lor. Yeah, okay. So this guy is very, very patient with me. He's like my first ever teacher, lah. So I would squat there beside him and watch him how he would use the squeegee, how he would like the directions, how he would cut without cutting the paint, how he would like measure out the vinyl needed for the panels of the car. So everything like basically from scratch I learned from him. And then one time, I think it was during his lunchtime, so he went out. And I'm like, there's a very small little panel of a roof. I'm like, maybe I should try doing that and like maybe I can impress him, when he comes back for lunch. So I was struggling with it myself and walking to the left, walking to the right, trying to cut and squeegee everything down. And I'm actually quite surprised that I managed to do it. I mean, I didn't finish it in that 1 hour he was gone for lunch, but when he was back, he was like, I saw his expression, was like quite amazed that I could even get so far doing it on my own. So since then, right, I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can like try and practice more, get hang of it and stuff. So from then on, right, I never really looked back. Like I abandoned my position as the marketer girl for Voss, and I decided to just do all the hands-on things because I find that it's really, really interesting how to make the wrap adhere to the different corners, the panels and stuff where you can make it neat and tuck all the corners, the edges in nicely. Oh, it's a stone chip. So like sometimes, right, after we wrap, we can see stuff like that. So we will open the wrap if you can, and then we'll try and get the dirt out. But sometimes when we do that, like what I've just done, and I feel that it's not a dust speck, it's a stone chip. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and open it so So here, this is what's causing the little bump. So that's a little bit of a stone chip. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and just wrap over that, and then I'll let the customer know that that is not a speck of dust. So for this, there's a little gap. What I'll do is I'll rest my blade on the bottom one, and then I'll just slice it all the way through. So when I do that, right, I'm actually angling my blade slightly. I'm tilting it slightly above, so it doesn't slice through the bottom, like that. I'm just cutting through. So here, so with the heat gun, it's actually like an insurance to if your corners are going to come out. It helps me to better gauge if this corner will stick in the long run or not. So that's what we call post-heating. So that's when the masking tape comes into play because it's a pretty high risk area. I don't want to risk scratching the headlamps, so this masking tape is just there for added protection. So if you see a lot of things I'm doing are pretty repetitive, it's just because I just want to make sure that I get the wrap right inside the creases between the rubber. So if I cut, then I won't accidentally cut too much and then risk exposing the paint. Any car would require at least 2 to 3 days, just based on the fact that we have to dismantle, we have to clean the parts, make sure everything is documented in a sense, like the stone chips, the scratches, the dings, the dents, and all those things. So if there are cars that have heavy body work to be done, then of course that might take more than 2 to 3 days. But it's funny because like sometimes, right, we can do. I can work like 5-6 hours, one shot, no breaks, no nothing, just getting a car done, and time like just goes by like that. But sometimes, right, it's like after you do one part, and then you feel like oh, I'm so tired, my eyes are tired, I can't concentrate, then that's when like it's a sign for you to take a break, lest you accidentally cut a car. The challenges is that sometimes I have to admit that I'm not as strong as the guys. One roll of film is pretty heavy, so in that sense I will need to bother them to help me to lift rolls, to help me get into places where I'm not able to reach because I'm not that tall, you see. So, I mean, we do have stools and ladders, but sometimes it's just easier if somebody tall and with the muscle to help out. We have our fair share of good and slightly negative customers, meaning to say they would question whether I have the ability to do what I'm doing. The good customers, right, they're very, very excited to know that a girl is going to be wrapping their car because they feel that girls are very meticulous in the things that they do. They're very detailed. They really look at the details and stuff. So those customers, I'm quite flattered. But you can be rest assured that every single car, no matter what, right, if it's just like a really old, banged up car, vintage car, if you will, up to a car that just came in from a showroom, right, is being treated the same way. It's just because this is the canvas that I'm working on. Every canvas deserves my 100%. I'll call this an interest. I would say that it is to better my skills. Yeah, every car has 4 doors, 2 doors, a front bumper, rear bumper, hood, roof. But some cars, the make is more difficult than the others. And then some cars are really, really curvy. So that's the challenge in doing things nicely. So I feel like it's not so much of, oh, I'm passionate about it and stuff, but it is quite an interesting thing to improve on. Being in this industry, the general outlook of what it is quite a dirty job, like physically labor intensive, very filthy, you know, you sweat, you perspire, you're rolling around on the floor, you're working with car grease and things like that, right? But that is the reality of this job. So that's why I think not many Singaporeans are keen to do this kind of work. I graduated in LaSalle in around 2010 with a communications design degree. So after that, I went on to work in a couple of marketing jobs for different firms. That was about like 5 years or so. Is it a waste for my degree? I don't think it's a waste in the sense where had I not had the interest in arts, I probably would not be here anyway. I'm thankful, I'm grateful for my degree. If anything, you know, I can go back to doing that, but I don't see myself doing that anymore anyway. If you want to get into something unconventional, right, really try and find out as much as you can about the industry. Go and intern, go and see the environment, the work environment, because it's not always like rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes after work, like I'm in my work clothes, there are grease stains on my shirt, on my hands. Sometimes I meet my friends in town or what, you know, just for a quick meal, catch up. I seem quite messy, I seem quite dirty. And I do get a lot of stares from people, like, cause my friends will be like from, you know, their office jobs and they are very prim and proper, work attire, very nice. Whereas I look like I just came out from war, right? When we are seated down at a restaurant, right, and then like you get stares from the next table or like the person walking by or like waiters judge you, you know? It's just not a very nice feeling. I have learned to tune out, but sometimes it just gets to you. What I get most out of this job, right, is that expression, that face when customers collect their cars and then they're just like really so happy. It just tells on their face. So that to me is also a job well done, I feel. Because the happiness of the customer, right, plays quite an important role to tell us that it's a visual cue to tell us that, oh, okay, he's really happy with the job, you know, he really likes it, they're taking photos, they're taking selfies with their cars, you know. I feel very, very happy that they are happy